Most men think women only care about looks, money, or status. That's the surface-level advice society repeats. But here's the twist. What truly makes you irresistible to women often has little to do with what you own and everything to do with the habits you build. The small things you do daily, your mindset, your discipline, the way you carry yourself, shape how women feel around you. And whether you realize it or not, women are always watching those details. Welcome back to the channel, fellas. If you're here, it means you're not satisfied with generic advice. You want the edge, the real understanding of what separates the average man from the man women can't ignore. This isn't about tricks, games, or being fake. It's about building yourself into someone who naturally commands attention without even asking for it. Here's where the controversy comes in. Women don't fall for men because of what women say they want. They fall for men because of what men do. And often those actions go against the soft, people-pleasing behavior men are taught to show. The truth is, attraction isn't built on comfort. It's built on strength, unpredictability, and the kind of presence that shakes things up. In this video, I'm going to break down 7 powerful habits that will make you not just attractive, but unforgettable. These aren't cliches you've heard 1,000 times. They're rooted in how women actually respond when faced with a man who stands apart. So buckle up, because once you put these habits into practice, you'll notice a shift. Not just in how women treat you, but in how you view yourself as a man. Before we start the video, I want to remind you that my exclusive online course on mastering the dating game is available now. If you've been learning from my YouTube videos, you're only scratching the surface. This course goes deeper, teaching you everything you need to know about the dating game, from approaching a woman to building real attraction. We just completed Section 4 in the course, and these insights aren't shared anywhere else. It's easy to access with multiple secure payment options. There are only 5 discounted slots remaining using the promo code. Visit stoicapproachtolife.podia.com or check the link in the description to enroll now before the offer is gone. The habit of self-control. 1. The habit of self-control. If there is one habit that separates a man from the crowd, it's self-control. Think about it for a second. How many men do you see losing their cool over the smallest things? They argue when a woman tests them. They blow up when life doesn't go their way. Or they collapse into begging and chasing the moment they feel rejection creeping in. That's not strength. That's weakness disguised as passion. And women pick up on it immediately. A man who cannot control himself is a man who cannot be trusted to control anything around him. Self-control is more than just holding back anger. It's the discipline to not send that desperate text at midnight, even though every part of you wants to. It's the patience to let silence work in your favor instead of reacting instantly when a woman ignores you. It's the strength to walk away from a situation where your dignity is at risk, even if your emotions scream at you to stay. Women notice this. They may not say it out loud, but when a man keeps his composure while others lose it, he becomes unforgettable. Here's what most men don't understand. Women test you not because they hate you, but because they need to know if you can handle pressure. When she gives you attitude, when she pushes your buttons, when she tries to make you jealous, it's not just random behavior. She's unconsciously asking, is this man solid or will he break? If you fail those moments, attraction dies. But when you pass, when you remain calm, centered, and unaffected, you trigger something deep inside her. Respect. Self-control also means knowing when not to indulge in every desire. It's controlling your time, your energy, and even your vices. The man who has discipline in his habits, whether it's fitness, work, or lifestyle, projects an aura of reliability. He doesn't just look strong, he feels strong. And women don't just want to be around that energy, they crave it. Imagine 2 men walking into a room. One is quick to laugh nervously, quick to explain himself, quick to react to every glance or comment. The other walks in calm, collected, completely unfazed by whatever is happening around him. Who do you think women notice more? It's not even close. The man who radiates self-control commands the room without effort. The truth is, You don't need to be perfect to be attractive. You need to be consistent. Building the habit of self-control doesn't happen overnight. But every time you resist the urge to overreact, every time you choose patience over impulse, you're building an aura that women can't ignore. They may not understand why they feel it, but they know they're drawn to it. A man who masters himself masters everything. And once you build this habit, you'll notice that not only do women treat you differently, but men do as well. Respect follows the man who refuses to be controlled by anything but his own will. The habit of purpose 2. The habit of purpose. A man with purpose is like a magnet. You can't always explain why people pay attention to him, but they do. Purpose is one of those qualities that instantly makes you attractive because it communicates something most men lack. Direction. Too many men drift through life hoping women will fill the emptiness they feel inside. They wake up without goals, spend their time reacting instead of building, and then wonder why women lose interest. The harsh reality is that no woman wants to follow a man who doesn't know where he's going. Purpose doesn't mean you need to have your entire life figured out, but it does mean you must have a clear sense of what you're working toward. Whether it's building a business, mastering a skill, excelling in your career, or improving your health, women are drawn to men who are committed to something bigger than themselves. That drive signals ambition, and ambition is magnetic. Here's the truth. When you lack purpose, you become needy in relationships. Why? Because without a mission, you start making a woman your mission. You revolve your world around her instead of revolving it around your vision. And while movies might sell the idea that women want to be the center of your universe, in real life they lose respect for a man who abandons his path just to chase them. What they truly want is to join a man's journey, not become the journey itself. Men with purpose walk differently. They speak with conviction because their words are tied to something they believe in. They don't tolerate disrespect because they know their time is valuable. And when challenges come, they push through because they're anchored by something bigger than momentary feelings. That's what women notice. A man who cannot be swayed off his mission becomes irresistible because he's rare. Now let's be real. Living with purpose isn't always glamorous. It requires sacrifice. It means saying no to distractions. It means waking up early to work on your craft instead of wasting hours scrolling or partying. It means risking failure to achieve something meaningful. And yet, that struggle is exactly what makes you powerful. Women can sense when a man has discipline, when he has something that lights him up inside and it's intoxicating to them. The best part, purpose gives you a natural confidence. You don't need to fake bravado or force charm. Your life already speaks for you. When a woman sees that you're locked in, she knows instinctively that she cannot control you because you're already controlled by your vision. That's when attraction deepens. Not because you're chasing her, but because you're too busy chasing greatness. A man with purpose doesn't ask, "How do I impress her?" Instead, he asks, "How do I stay true to my mission?" Ironically, that's what impresses her most. When you build your life around purpose, women will want to be part of your story, not the reason you abandoned it. The habit of mystery 3. The habit of mystery. Mystery is one of the most underrated yet powerful habits a man can develop. In a world where everyone overshares, where social media broadcasts every thought and every detail of life, a man who doesn't reveal everything becomes instantly more intriguing. Women are naturally curious, and when you give them everything up front, there's nothing left for them to discover. Mystery creates the space where attraction grows, because what's hidden is always more powerful than what's fully exposed. Here's the problem with most men. They think being honest means telling a woman every little detail, every past story, every fear, and every plan before she's even earned the right to know them. They think pouring everything out is how you build closeness. In reality, it kills attraction. Why? Because once she feels like she knows everything about you, there's nothing left to explore. And women love exploration. They love the chase as much as men do, just in a different way. Mystery doesn't mean being secretive or playing childish games. It's about restraint. It's about letting her wonder what you're doing when you're not around. It's about not always responding immediately, not always explaining your every move, and not giving her a full biography on the first date. Instead, you reveal yourself in layers, allowing her curiosity to build. Think about it like a movie. If you knew the ending within the first 10 minutes, would you stay interested? Of course not. The suspense, the unknown, is what keeps you hooked. When you're a man of mystery, you don't feel the need to justify yourself. You don't overshare just to fill silence. You let her ask questions, and when she does, you don't rush to hand her every answer. Sometimes you leave space for her to think, to imagine, to wonder about who you are when she's not with you. That tension makes her invest more energy into figuring you out. And the more energy she invests, the deeper her attraction becomes. Here's the key. Mystery also ties back to self-control and purpose. A man who is constantly available, constantly explaining, constantly proving himself is signaling that he has nothing better going on. But a man who keeps some things to himself shows that he has a life beyond her. That's irresistible because it suggests depth, strength, and value. Let's make it real. If you're the guy who posts every meal, every thought, every moment online, women might glance at you, but they won't be intrigued. Compare that to the man who appears less often, who only reveals glimpses of his life, who keeps an air of unpredictability around him. That's the man she thinks about when he's gone. That's the man she talks about to her friends because she can't quite figure him out. Mystery isn't about manipulation. It's about understanding human nature. What's scarce feels valuable. What's unknown feels exciting. If you can master the habit of mystery, you'll stop chasing women because they'll be too busy chasing you. The habit of confidence without arrogance. 4. The habit of confidence without arrogance. Confidence is one of the most attractive qualities a man can have, but it's also one of the most misunderstood. Too many men either lack it completely or overcompensate with arrogance. The sweet spot, the place where women feel irresistibly drawn to you, is quiet, steady confidence that doesn't need to shout. It's the calm belief in yourself without needing to prove you're better than anyone else. Think about this in terms of a relationship. Imagine a man named Alex. Alex has been dating his girlfriend for over a year. She's attractive, social, and often gets attention from other men. Now here's where the difference shows. A man without confidence sees this attention as a threat. He gets insecure, jealous, constantly checking her phone or questioning where she's been. Every interaction becomes a battle for reassurance. And in time, she starts to feel smothered. That insecurity drains attraction. Now let's look at another scenario. Same woman, same situation, but this time Alex is confident in himself. He doesn't ignore reality. He knows other men will look at her, but he isn't bothered by it. Why? Because he trusts his value. He knows he brings qualities that go beyond looks. His presence, his ambition, his leadership, his stability. Instead of panicking when another man flirts with her, he simply smiles, stays composed, and lets her handle it. That kind of calm strength is magnetic. She feels secure with him, not because he's controlling, but because his confidence reassures her that he's not easily shaken. This is the difference between arrogance and confidence. The arrogant man would puff out his chest, brag about himself, maybe even confront every guy who looks her way. On the surface, it looks like power, but deep down, it screams insecurity. Arrogance is loud because it's compensating for a void inside. Real confidence doesn't need to announce itself. It shows up in how you carry yourself, how you treat others, and how you remain composed when tested. Women pick up on this energy instantly. A confident man doesn't rush to impress because he already believes he's valuable. He doesn't seek constant approval because he knows his worth. And the beauty of this is that when you truly have confidence, you don't need to push it on anyone. People feel it. Women especially feel it. Confidence without arrogance also shows up in smaller ways. It's how you speak calmly and clearly without trying to dominate the room. It's how you handle rejection without crumbling or lashing out. It's how you carry yourself physically. Upright posture, steady eye contact, relaxed movements. These subtle signals are far louder than any bragging or showing off could ever be. The man who lives with this kind of confidence makes women feel both excited and safe. He becomes the anchor in the storm, the one who doesn't fold under pressure. That's the kind of man women don't just want to date, they want to stay with. The habit of high standards 5. The habit of high standards. One of the fastest ways a man loses a woman's respect is by having no standards. When you tolerate bad behavior, accept disrespect, or let things slide because you're afraid to upset her, you send a clear message. I'll take whatever you give me as long as you don't leave. That mindset kills attraction. Women don't admire men who bend at every demand. They admire men who know what they will and won't accept. Here's where most men go wrong. She shows up late to the date, and instead of saying anything, he smiles nervously and pretends it's fine. She flirts with another guy in front of him, and instead of addressing it, he laughs it off and hopes she'll stop. She talks to him with attitude, and he keeps quiet because he doesn't want an argument. He thinks he's keeping the peace, but in reality, he's lowering his value every time. Women can't respect a man who doesn't respect himself. Now, what should he do instead? High standards don't mean being controlling or aggressive. They mean communicating with confidence. If she's late, the wrong move is sulking or throwing a tantrum. The right move is calmly saying, I value my time, so let's try to be on time next time. If she flirts in front of you, don't lash out, but don't ignore it either. Look her in the eye and say, if you're with me, I expect your focus to be on us, not other men. If she raises her voice or disrespects you, don't match her energy with shouting. Stay calm and firm. I don't talk to you that way, so I won't accept it from you. Notice the pattern. It's not about trying to dominate her. It's about drawing clear lines. High standards show her that being with you is a privilege, not a free pass to act however she wants. Women might not always like being called out in the moment, but deep down they respect it. They feel safer with a man who won't let disrespect slide because it shows he's strong enough to stand up for himself. The mistake weak men make is thinking standards will scare women away. The truth is, the opposite happens. Yes, some women will leave when faced with a man who demands respect. But those are women who never valued him to begin with. The women worth keeping are the ones who rise to meet those standards. Living with high standards also means holding yourself accountable. You can't demand respect if you don't respect yourself. That means taking care of your body, your finances, your mindset, and your word. When you expect the best from yourself, it becomes natural to expect the best from others. At the end of the day, women want a man they can look up to, not a man they can walk over. The habit of high standards is what keeps you in that position of respect. If you let things slide once, she'll test you again. But if you set the tone early, she'll know you're the kind of man who won't settle. And that's exactly what makes you irresistible. The habit of leadership. 6. The habit of leadership. Leadership is one of those habits that separates men women admire from men women tolerate. At its core, leadership isn't about barking orders or trying to control every detail. It's about direction, confidence, and initiative. A man with leadership energy makes decisions, takes charge when it's needed, and inspires trust in those around him. And in relationships, that quality is magnetic. Here's the truth most men overlook. Women don't want to lead in the relationship. They might take control when a man refuses to, but that's not their natural desire. Deep down, they want to relax into their feminine energy while trusting that the man by their side can guide the ship. If you hesitate, if you keep asking her to decide everything, she might go along with it for a while, but eventually she'll start to lose respect. She'll see you as passive, indecisive, and safe, but not attractive. Think about simple situations. A weak man asks his girlfriend, "So, what do you want to do tonight?" Over and over again, putting the burden of planning on her. A leader, on the other hand, says, "Be ready at 8, I've got something planned." Notice the Difference one creates boredom and pressure. The other creates excitement and security. Leadership takes stress off her shoulders and lets her focus on enjoying the experience. But leadership isn't just about planning dates. It's about having a vision for your life and inviting her into it. When you know where you're going, she doesn't have to question if she's wasting her time. She sees your direction, your drive, and she feels confident standing by your side. That's powerful because women crave certainty in a man. They want to know he can handle himself and lead through challenges. Here's what makes leadership so engaging. It naturally combines other habits you've already learned. Leadership requires self-control because you can't lead if you're easily rattled. It demands purpose because you can't lead if you have no destination. And it requires high standards because you can't guide others while letting everything slide. This is why women are drawn to men who step into leadership naturally. It's not forced. It's a reflection of who you are. Now, let's clear something up. Leadership is not dictatorship. A man who tries to dominate every choice without listening comes across as insecure, not strong. True leadership invites input, but makes the final call. It's the balance of being decisive while still considering her perspective. That's what makes her feel valued, not controlled. When you build the habit of leadership, you become the man women follow without resistance. Not because they have to, but because they want to. They feel safer, more feminine, and more excited around you. And here's the kicker. Other men will also respect you more because leadership energy is rare. A man who leads stands out in every area of life. In relationships, it's the difference between being the guy she tolerates until something better comes along and being the man she proudly stands beside. 7. The habit of constant growth. 1. The habit of constant growth of the most attractive habits a man can ever develop is the habit of constant growth. It's not the money in your pocket, the car you drive, or even the way you look. It's the fact that you are always becoming better. Women can't resist a man who refuses to stay stagnant because growth signals ambition, strength, and potential. A man who is constantly improving tells the world without saying a word, "I'm not done yet." And that energy is magnetic. Here's the problem. Too many men stop growing once they get comfortable. They land a job, they get into a relationship, and then they coast. No new skills, no new goals, no effort to improve themselves physically or mentally. At first, she might tolerate it, but eventually she begins to lose interest. Not because she doesn't care about him, but because he no longer inspires her. Women want to look at their man and feel like they're standing beside someone who is going places, not someone who has given up. Now, growth doesn't mean you need to reinvent yourself overnight. It's about the small, consistent steps that add up. Maybe you're hitting the gym regularly and building a stronger body. Maybe you're reading more, learning new skills, or pushing yourself in your career. Maybe you're working on your mindset, becoming calmer, sharper, more disciplined. Every step you take sends a message. I refuse to settle. And women respect that. Here's why growth is so powerful in attraction. It creates excitement. When you're always improving, she never feels like the relationship is stale. She sees that being with you means the journey is always moving forward. It makes her proud to stand beside you because you embody progress. Compare that to the man who's stuck in the same habits, the same routine year after year. She doesn't see a future with him because he's not even building a future for himself. Constant growth also protects you from desperation. A man who invests in himself doesn't fear losing a woman because he knows he's becoming more valuable with time. He knows that no matter what happens, he's leveling up. That self-assurance is intoxicating. Women chase men who chase growth because growth is rare in a world where most people are comfortable staying average. Let's make it practical. When she sees you setting goals and hitting them, she admires you. When she notices you becoming more confident, more knowledgeable, or healthier, she's reminded why she chose you in the first place. You keep her attention not by clinging to her, but by showing her that your life is moving forward, and she has the privilege of joining you on that path. The habit of constant growth makes you irresistible because it never lets the energy die. It keeps you fresh, it keeps you sharp, and it keeps her invested. When you live this way, you'll notice something powerful. Women don't just want to be with you. They're proud conclusion to be with you. Attraction isn't built on tricks or empty lines. It's built on who you are and the habits you practice every single day. Self-control, purpose, mystery, confidence, high standards, leadership, and constant growth. These are the qualities that separate an average man from the man women find unforgettable. When you embody these habits, you don't have to chase women because they'll feel pulled toward you naturally. Remember, becoming irresistible is less about impressing her and more about becoming the kind of man who impresses himself first. Master these habits, and you'll never have to question your value again. If you're serious about mastering the dating game, don't miss out on my exclusive online course. We go beyond what's covered in these videos, giving you powerful insights from the first approach to lasting attraction. Only 5 discounted slots remain, and it's easy to enroll with secure payment options. Visit stoicapproachtolife.podia.com or simply click the link in the description to secure your spot. Don't wait until it's too late. Take action now and start transforming your dating life today.